we're really gonna have to look at yeah, we're gonna have to look at getting having a intro placeholder name for Farmer next time when he helps out. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Charles is ill and couldn't make the stream, but we're here to chat with Renegade, and thanks Farmer for stepping up.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be here. I'm usually watching, so it's nice to be on the other side of things.
Yeah, it's cool. So Renegade, thanks for coming. How was your day?
Of course. Thank you guys. First of all, thank you for having me. Hi everybody on the YouTube channel, and my day was good. Didn't get really good sleep, but got through today's my Friday, so it's even better.
Oh, you not have to usually like work on Fridays?
No, I'm taking tomorrow off. I'm going to Vegas for the weekend.
Whoa, I haven't been to Vegas in years. What are you doing down there?
Wife's best friend's birthday, so I get to go and have some fun for once.
That's cool.
They call it the
Farmer, have you ever
island out here, Vegas.
No. Have you been there?
I personally haven't. Or when I was a lot younger, I've been to Reno. I'm a country boy. I like green fields and pastures and not big cities. The island that I live on, there's only 7,000 people that live on this island. So if that kind of can make you grasp the solitude that I more enjoy, I'm not a big city kind of person. I heard the food is really good though.
That's okay though. I mean, it's good to get a different scenery from time to time. I'm from a high desert rural area originally, and then moved into the city. And you have your ups and downs in both, but it's good to just get to something different. You know what I mean? From time to time.
Yeah, I gotta say I've only been to Vegas once, and I was not a fan. I wouldn't go back there unless I really had to. There's so many places I'd rather go. It's, especially if you're anywhere near the Strip, it's not a place to visit.
You got to know where to go.
Right.
You got to be young.
Yeah.
You got to be a young guy.
You got to know where to go. No, I took the kids. We took the kids 2 years ago, and we didn't even go onto the Strip once. We stayed in the hotels in the backside of the Strip and just had fun at the scene. We went to the water park. We saw some of the museums, awesome. And we went to the Grand Canyon. Yeah, so it's there's a lot to do out there.
For me, it was a work trip, so we were there for about a week, and we stayed at the MGM Grand. And to Farmer's point, yeah, the food was amazing. If you ever watched Iron Chef, every single one of them has a restaurant within walking distance there. So we got to eat at some fantastic places. The best was Morimoto. It was a Japanese place where they cook in front of you, like that teppanyaki style or whatever. And the steak I did not realize, I saw $30, and it was Wagyu beef or Kobe beef, sorry. And it was $30, and I was like, oh, well, that's not bad, fancy restaurant, whatever. What I didn't realize, it was $30 an ounce, and it was a 3-ounce minimum. So
I was just going to tell you
it ended up being $100 steak.
I actually,
but it was very good.
I opened the one in Waikiki over on Oahu in the Waikiki edition, Masahata Morimoto. So like you said, the Iron Chef. Yes, so it's very expensive. White glove service, very out here especially. So yeah, they price you and you're like, oh, that sounds reasonable, and you're like, oh my gosh.
It was a $500 meal at the
time. Hey, but from time to time, I mean, if you didn't know, that kind of sucks. But from time to time, you gotta splurge, you gotta indulge and have a good time. Try something different.
I'm very big into cooking and food, so for me, going down there, my wife knew. I was dropping $5,000-$6,000 in food alone, and just eating at every high-end restaurant. Well, I'm not that kind of guy who wants to go see things and do things. I don't want to see plays and that. But you're gonna find some good restaurants. Yeah, no, that's what I love to do.
Yeah.
So I think the important thing to take away from that is that it doesn't matter what industry we are in. It's all about creating experiences now. And that's what you're paying for in that kind of service, is you're paying for the experience of the flavor profiles, such as if you did at omakase, which is like 12 courses, and there are all these different little bites. But that's what people are doing, whether it's in the degen space or the hospitality space. Everybody is looking for some sort of, well, maybe degen space, they're kind of more looking for whitelist and other things like that. Maybe they're not necessarily looking for experiences, but
no, but you make a good point though. That you are looking for an experience to make money. Now, how you make that money, or how you get the experience, is a little different, right? Like, for instance, NFTs are a little bit different. Obviously, it's more about the community and the utility behind it. You know, like, let's use, for example, Bored Apes and what they provide, and then, you know, Alpha Shares and what I've been seeing what they're doing. They're creating a different type of NFT with that. So, I think you're onto something there, though.
Yeah, that experience is huge. You know, that's one thing that we've seen time and time again talking to any NFT artists about Alpha Shares in the marketplace, is like OpenSea and some of the other platforms that are out there. There's no service. There's no one taking care of these people who are pouring like their heart and soul into, whether it's artwork or, well, I mean, you can't do utility there, but, you know, projects like, you know, we've got going on, or anyone else with any NFT kind of utility stuff. It just doesn't exist, and you're not getting taken care of. So whatever industry you're in, yeah, if you are not top notch, you probably aren't going to get benefits out of it. You know, just being first won't last long.
No, it's all about quality.
Yeah, for sure. eBay was first, right? And look what Amazon has done.
True.
And that's the beautiful thing about healthy competition, is it generates innovation, and that's what we want. We don't want to be left with a service or a protocol that isn't sound, or that isn't providing, or isn't sustainable over a long-term period. We want something that is sustainable, that can continue to give back and evolve based off of that innovation, and not just be a fork of everything else. Because we understand how hard it is now to write code from scratch. I personally don't understand that, but I've only heard that it's a lot different writing from scratch than it is writing it from a fork.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you're involved with any of the dev side of the projects you're on, Renegade. I know I definitely have zero dev skills. One of our senior mods, or well, our community manager actually, was giving out like a link to a really solidarity course, Solidity. I can't say it right. And it was like only like $30, and he's grinding every night trying to learn this. And I looked at it and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that too. That sounds great. And I like took like one look and I'm like, no, that's not my bag. I can't do that. I'm just that friendly guy to help out.
No, that's cool on him. I don't have anything to do with code, but I'm something I've kind of like merged or blended into, especially at Power, is I'm more like the project manager. Like in real life, that's what I do. I manage contractors. I manage projects. So it's kind of easy for me, but when it's like you said, code and stuff like that, I'm just making sure that things are flowing. Especially at Power, I am so much more involved in stuff that I probably shouldn't be, but I'm making sure that it's right. I'm making sure that it's moving in the right direction, and kind of like whipping the devs into movement. Vapor is Jose is an amazing dev, and that his team that he has. So it's more him communicating to me. So I would love to learn code. It's just, I guess I'm lazy or don't have time. I'm gonna go with that. I don't have time.
Yeah, that seems to be the hardest part in the crypto space, is finding time to do anything.
Yeah, isn't it? Well, it's you know, I've spread myself kind of thin. You know, working with 2 of the projects, and then it even hinders my ability to sometimes invest, being an investor still. So it's I love what I'm doing. It's just finding the time to balance life, projects, your real life job, and then your social life too. You know.
I think since Alpha came out, I have bought 2 NFTs or 3 NFTs with some, you know, partner projects that were kind of presented right to me. But as far as your point of being an investor or looking into anything, I have not done any research on anything in the last 3 months. It's just been constant.
Yeah,
constant busyness.
It's tough.
So
Definitely tough.
So when did you actually start getting, like, was Power the first project you got into?
No, actually. So Thor was. Actually, you know what? Let's go back. I want to say Soldier
Let's go
Nodes
back.
and
Taking it back.
Samurai Nodes. I don't know which one was first, but I was in both of those, and then Thor came out. I want to say both of those came out before Thor or at the same time. I was just investing, learning the space, and then Thor came out, invested into that one. And I actually tried to become a mod there from day one. Me and Nylock kind of didn't hit it off right away, but as time grew, he pulled me in and got me to start helping him with what he's doing. And then Power launched, I want to say the very next day or a couple days later, and I was over there, and the devs just launched. If you guys remember the space, they just launched it and didn't even have like a community set up, didn't have a team set up. And I'd kind of gotten mad at Thor and was over at Power like, hey, I'm here to help. And they're like, sent me a DM, hey, do you want to be a mod? And I was like, sure. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we're live. So like my very first day, I got to invest one. Like I think I bought one node at the time, and then I was managing the chat, and oh my! From there on, it was just me taking over and controlling Power.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess if in life you're doing all the project management and stuff, that sounds like it was just a natural fit for the way that launched.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm gonna have to go back and find the messages, but it was like, yeah, I'd love to. Just make sure you guys are, open and transparent and let me know what's going on. That way we can, I can help. And they're like, oh, we're live. And I was like, holy crap, you completely like what? You didn't let me know anything. You're live. Oh, great. But yeah, no, I think it was, learn as you go, and DeFi especially. I'd like to think I've made a pretty big difference, and that's the whole reason I'm here. Kind of getting into this a little bit is I'm an all around. I'd like to think I'm an all guy. I just want to make sure things are done right. Everything I do in life, I want it to be done right, and it's got my name on it, whether it's Renegade or my real name. It's got my name on it, and it means more to me that my name being on something is doing things right than anything else, right? Making money or whatever. I want somebody to look at something and go, oh man, Renegade's there. That means something. To me, that means more than anything.
Isn't there a quote or something from your dad about your name?
Yeah, 100%. When I started, so in my real career, I was a ditch digger. That's what everybody, me and my dad worked construction. And when I started, my dad got me in with his, where he worked. It's not his company, but where he worked. And my dad was a foreman. He's been there for 20 something years. And my day one was, that exact quote was, you have my name. And so whatever you do, don't F it up, because you mess up, it carries on to my name. Right. And so I've grown that into, whatever you do, put your name on it. Put some respect on it. You have to do that yourself. Right. So yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. It's part of the integrity you hold to yourself and to your name and to your ancestors, your genealogy, if you would, and going back. And that's what means a lot to your father and to you. And then you instill that into your children and so on. I think that's very commendable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think me and Farmer have had so many conversations where he talks about just the respect and stuff that you can talk on that point, Farmer, about all the respect on the island and everything that you've had to kind of do
as an outsider
to earn your place there. Yeah.
I live in Hawaii, and even more so on an island where there's very few haole people or white people. And so there's a precedence you set just by being who you are, especially being a male. So people look at you kind of differently in the sense of that they kind of fear that you're going to take their lifestyle away that they fought so hard to keep for this whole time. And so I've just made it a point. I am a farmer, and so that's what I focus on is soil rehabilitation and composting. So taking food waste or animal carcass and that's a nitrogen source, and mixing it with a carbon source, which is going to be wood chips or some sort of brown material, and water, and basically creating this chemical process of cooking it down, which is just happens because once you mix the two, it creates this heat from the inside and decomposition takes place. Black soldier flies come in, so on and so forth, and it starts breaking down. And this is what we do to help amend the soil to kind of bring life back. And so to make a long story short, if you go all the way back into 1853 during the overthrow of Hawaii and what that entails, there's always times of missionaries and everybody coming to Hawaii and telling people how to have a better life. And so I'm not going around and showcasing that. I'm not going around and expressing that to people. I'm allowing them to come to me on the other side of the fence and see what I'm doing. As well as I've been connected because of my friends that were born and raised here. So really what the whole respect of Malama Aina, which is like protect the Aina, care for the Aina, or Kuleana, which is responsibility. These words mean something so much bigger here, or Kapuna, which is your parents or your grandparents and how you're supposed to care for them as they get older through that time. And your name means something like Kala, Huia Kalani, Kamehameha E Kolu. Every piece of that name actually means something that's tied into your family ancestry or your history of your family. And that name is actually given to you from your grandmother. So it's a really interesting to come in here as a white male and to learn the different cultural ways and to show that respect. It's almost as if when you go paddle out to go surfing and you're not familiar with that space, you sit on the outside of the lineup until someone offers you to come in. It's kind of like that. You wait for that permission, that acceptance. And what they call it a oli kahea is you have to kahea out, to call out, to ask for permission to come in. And that's kind of what you're doing. And so that's like how the whole culture is centered around. And so going back to what you say earlier, like not having time to do other things or to learn new skills, or not even necessarily skills, but new things of interest, new hobbies. I feel like the older that we get, the easier the tasks start becoming almost like a master's program or a thesis. Like our brains are just like, oh my gosh, just I want to relax and not have to learn all these new things. But when you're a kid, you can learn them so quickly. So it's very interesting out here to learn all these different aspects, because farming is like a master's program. Learning how to chant or do hula as a master's program, learning how to respect the culture in its natural, like this is their home. We don't need to come here and express to them how we think they should live. We should come here and be willing to learn how they live. And so I could keep going forever and ever, but this is not about me or Hawaii or farming.
No,
that's why I told you it would take me 2 hours if you did one with me. So
no, I mean, I like that though. It's just the respect translating. I think that's something we all just have a consensus on in this space. You need to make sure that you're networking with people. There's so much distrust in the DeFi space, in the crypto space, that those real life lessons of respect and earning your own way. That seems like it matters a lot. So.
And to even tie in even more so it didn't seem like I got too off on a tangent. So my last name is James. Obviously, you can see my last name on the screen. My grandfather's side, where that name comes from, it comes from Scotland way back. But when you say that you're a James, that means that you are a hard worker. You won't stop for anything. You can overcome any obstacle. It doesn't matter if you have blisters on your shoes. You're going to keep walking no matter how far it is. And so that I bring that hard, like if there's one thing that I'm good at, it's working hard. And I get that from my name. I get that from my grandfather. And so it means something. Your name totally means something. And if you have children, instilling that into them is so important too, because if you don't know where you come from, you don't even know who you are, right?
Yep. No, I agree wholeheartedly. Your name means more than anything else. I promise you that. Your name precedes you is exactly the way. Yeah, exactly. It does. So if you don't carry that with yourself, if you don't carry that onto your kids, if you don't respect that yourself, then people won't give you that respect if you're not going to respect it yourself. So
agreed.
Yeah, I like the way you put it though. Hard work. I when people ask me, to describe yourself, that's the way I put it. Everything I do, I put hard work into it. Even if it's being a Discord mod, even if it's being the project manager at what I do, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability. That way, when people go, "Damn, Renegade did that," whatever it is.
Because, like you said, it means something. Because you know that you're gonna. It's quality. It's when you put your name on something that you and other people know that there's that quality to it. There's that integrity to it.
Yep.
So very important. Also, what ties you from the past to the future, your name. It's crazy when you think about it. I promise I haven't smoked that much. I promise.
Whatever it is, pass it.
Yeah, where's that Skype call virtual pass button?
I know, right?
Someone smashed that. Well, you have done a lot of different things, not just in DeFi, just I guess online. I don't know how many people know that you also had done your own podcast centered around different television shows, Marvel, and Star Wars. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Interested to hear, because Charles actually he listened to them all and I never got to it, so I don't know anything about it besides I found your channel.
It gets into even this. I'd like to think I'm an entertainer. I'm not obviously hilarious or have amazing skills, but I'm a leader, and whether that's being in watching shows and giving information, leader in a Discord community, or a project management team where I'm managing a project. I like to lead. That's just me. So when we started, me and my buddy, actually we streamed together. So kind of preluding this a little bit, we used to stream on Twitch. Me and him met, and we found each other that we both really liked, Marvel shows and movies, and we'd talk about it, and then we're like, man, we should do a podcast. And we just did. We got together. We were able to do kind of like this, Skypes, and we do our podcast just like this. We would record it. I would edit and chop it up, and he would upload it and put it onto Spotify. But yeah, it was. It started with The Mandalorian. And then we were like, man, let's just keep rolling. We don't need to make it about one show, because when you make it about one show, you kind of limit yourselves. So we, if anybody wants to hear it, it's called We Have Spoken, which came from The Mandalorian, if you guys ever watched that show. So the podcast is called We Have Spoken, right? It's two guys who just talk about shows or things they enjoy and give some tidbits of insights on the research we've done and whatnot. And we just had a good time. It did get into, we would do two and a half hour long podcasts. Then I'd have to spend another hour of editing and getting it cleaned up and ready for Spotify. And it was just getting harder and harder with our time zones. So we kind of just fell off the map a little bit. We still have it there, and we still could just pick it up and go again. I got caught up in DeFi. So here we are.
DeFi kind of does that. It sucks the life out of all your other endeavors.
But yeah,
I did not know what I was signing up for when I was like gonna mod a project. I kind of seen it and thought it was cool to help, but I had no idea what was coming.
Yeah, but I do miss it, and that's why when you guys reached out about this, I have the entire setup. I have 3 screens in front of me with a really nice microphone and an entire setup with cameras. I have 3 different cameras that I could turn on. But I miss it. So this was kind of cool.
That's awesome. What got you started with like that TV show watching concept? Like I get what you're saying about just, starting a thing and talking, because it's very fun. But where did the concept come of like, we're going to recap this show? Was it just because you enjoyed that show that much, or?
That's a good question. I'm trying to remember how we got started with just The Mandalorian. I know we talked about doing podcasts. So like I said, we did streaming, and we were doing mostly games. We'd play every game, Fortnite, Call of Duty, Realm Royale, if you guys knew that game. We'd play all kinds of games. And then we'd talk about those, but we just didn't have the on the Twitch stream. We would talk about it, and we just didn't have the oomph like we do for like let's say Mandalorian or Star Wars, right? There's a lot of Star Wars nerds out there like me who love it. So we were like diving into it. It's like let's transition from video games to just a show, and then make our own. We separated from Twitch a little bit there and started doing Spotify.
That's really neat.
So what was your favorite
one? And then DeFi
one
took over
out of all that?
Favorite?
Because you did Mandalorian, Loki. I don't remember the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, the WandaVision.
You know what? So so let's go back even further on me. So I went to school for film. I was going to be I went to college to be a film editor. Spent $40,000 in 1 year, and then said this is too expensive and I can't afford it. So I love
Smart
film,
man,
and I love
smart.
and then got into construction. So I don't know if that's smart, but obviously I'm much more better off. How do you say it? Better? I'm better off now with a penny. But that was a passion, right? So I love films, and I love critiquing or editing, and that kind of got me back into this, right? It was like, oh, I can edit it and make clips. So given that background, right, now getting into favorite ones, right? That's tough. Mandalorian is amazing. I love that show. It's a great show. It's really hard to pick anything bad about it. Loki was really well done, and everybody really hated WandaVision, but it was amazingly done, right? The story might not have been there for us, but the way they did it was amazing. So that's what I'll say.
Did you do a podcast on the Star Wars sequels? Someone is asking.
I did not. We actually talked about doing all of the Star Wars movies. We talked about doing all the new Marvel movies coming out. And that's what we wanted to do. That was our goal. And like I said, we just got, his son is actually a really good baseball player and got consumed with baseball. So it was really hard for him to find time to do it as well. And then I got consumed with, DeFi and the things I jumped into. So no, we did not get to jump into that just yet.
I'd love to know what you thought of the, I guess you would call it the first 3, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, that summed it up. Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought.
I mean, they could have done better, a lot better. I mean, you could have the same you know what though? In Star Wars, I do try to take a step back, and I'll do this rather than critiquing it, because they obviously could have done better, and the whole 1, 2, 3 series, that series that they put together. I try to step back on those and just enjoy the world you get into. And that's what I try to do with myself in some of these, is I just try to enjoy and act like I'm part of it, right? And I love the Star Wars, the world. So I just try to sit back, like especially with Mandalorian, you get to sit back and watch those shows, and you feel like you're part of it the way they make it. Right, but it is hard to get past those first 3.
Yeah.
What's your guys' take? I'd like to hear your guys' takes
on the Star Wars.
Do you guys enjoy Star Wars? Do you guys even watch it?
I do at a base level. Like, I watch it and I find them entertaining overall. I've never been like a huge fan. I don't really do May the 4th or anything. And I was okay to just see them at home on TV. Like, I didn't need to go to the theater when the new ones came out. I did really enjoy the new ones. Like, they felt like kind of a throwback to the originals. So
yeah.
But yeah,
that's good.
Not on my top playlists of stuff.
They come on at the house. We'll watch it.
I would say that I was a nerd, but I've met people that are nerdier than I am when it comes to that. So, like you said, the first 3, I guess for the timeline, especially when they came out, it is good to kind of just like absorb into it, not necessarily critique it in that way. Obviously the last ones are going to be my more favorite, but definitely the Mandalorian and Boba Fett watching those when they came out afterwards was nice. But I can't do it every week. I have to let it all come out and then just binge watch the whole thing. I can't wait. I can't. I can wait for it all to come out, but I can't wait week to week. I'm like, even though I think it maybe for the Mandalorian, I might have did the first season. I might have watched it every week, and then after that, I was like, okay, I gotta wait.
That's funny. That's interesting because I'm the opposite, right? Like it came out Wednesday. I got to see it today because I can't wait an extra Thursday, right? But you're right. You get left with the you get left with the cliffhanger of each episode, right? But that's interesting. That's interesting.
And then you got to keep yourself busy a whole week until it comes out again.
I guess for me, it gets tied into like, man, I can't sit on the couch for 4 hours right now to watch them. Right. So I got to watch.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense too, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I do the same as Farmer. Like I love the binge watching. It's a lot of times when everyone's gone to bed in those quiet nights, then it's like you watch an episode or two of something before bed, and you like to pick the story up the next day, a couple more episodes every day. So it's the same story. I actually like TV better than movies because movies to me feel like a short story, even if it becomes a multi-franchise thing. Whereas, you get a TV series and that's like a novel that you can just go forever.
Yeah.
I think my all-time favorite show is probably Sons of Anarchy. Me and my wife have probably watched that a good 10 to 20 times.
Really? See, I haven't I've been wanting to watch that. I just have not been able to. Me and my wife talked about like, let's start that series. Let's watch it. We started watching. What's the one where he's a meth?
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad. I didn't get to watch that one yet. And I think we watched like the first 3 episodes and then kind of just forgot about it. But it was great. We just haven't gotten back to it. That's. But I agree.
I like those shows because of the character development. Like in Breaking Bad, from the very beginning to the very end. If you just step back and take a look at the character development of the guys, that's some amazing writing, I think.
And acting, he's an amazing actor. A lot of people don't give him the credit. He's an amazing actor.
Yeah, that was a huge showcase for him.
So I watch The Office religiously to a point where it's probably like a sick addiction almost. Because it's like the only thing that I watch. Because I watched Sons of Anarchy for a couple seasons, and then it just got, I don't know, repetitive, just like Walking Dead or just like the Ozarks. I was like, it's just the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, that gets tough. But I will agree, though. Like to Chad's point is, the TV series are more like a novel where, like a movie, you get 2 hours and you're gonna always be left with a cliffhanger. Because they're going to come out with a prequel, like especially Marvel, right? You're like, dang it, you're gonna leave me hanging, and it's not hanging for a week; it's hanging for 2.5 years until they make the next one.
Exactly. Like then 5 years later,
got me. No, but I love movies. I love taking the kids. We go sit at the movies and we sneak our candy in and have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah.
I think most of my afternoons when I'm not at work is I'll get the youngest and we'll pull my chair. He loves to pull the reclining chair like right in the middle of the living room. It can't be off to the side. It's got to be right. And we have like a 70-inch TV on our wall. So it's right in the middle, and then he'll curl up and we'll throw on whatever movie, usually Marvel ones actually, because he loves Hulk smash. I watch a lot of stuff with him too. They have their place for sure. I don't know if you ever actually saw, it's funny, and I think a lot of these financial shows and stuff, it's interesting because everybody's into crypto now. I think it was called Startup, and it was on Amazon, and it's about a girl, basically she would be a dev and making her own coin, and it's like for a payment around, and it's just such a, now that I'm like doing crypto, I really appreciate that show and what they were kind of trying to go through and do with all the competition. It was a good watch. How I was actually wondering, so with Vapor, did you found that, or did you just get pulled into that like Power?
Oh, did we lose you?
I don't know. Did you lose me?
Yeah, you like froze for a second there. You're back. Nope, you're not back.
Nope.
I think you muted your.
There we go.
There you go.
I was actually curious about Vapor, because I know you went from Power. Did you found Vapor, or did you get pulled in a similar story as Power?
So that's it's actually it's one of my favorite things. So being at Power, I was running things over there, helping the devs. Nylak was there. Vapor started, and they were getting ready to launch, and they needed somebody to run their Discord, and I was pulled in to. They asked me to help. I came over and met the two owners. They're like, "Look, we just want you to run the Discord, be the community manager. Are you on board?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I'd love to." And Vapor is also like, the same kind of story. Is I've worked my butt off. I've put everything I can into them, and they've recognized it. I've moved up into. I don't own anything, but I'm on the multi-sig with them. Not for the treasury, but for I'm on a multi-sig between the devs and how they move their funds for like building the project. So they put me on that to help with payments and paying the mods and stuff like that. And they moved me up to, I'm like third in charge. So it's amazing. I love Tom and Jose. Those guys talk to me. Tom will send me a text message from time to time. Just our joke is he'll just like send a middle finger, and that's his way of saying I love you. So we joke.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny, but no, but they're really good guys. Jose is a really good guy. He's about to have a baby. I think she's due in like less than a month. But yeah, I was pulled over. Hey, we see how hard you're working, and we want your help, type of thing. And then they even kind of talk about it. That's the other thing that's really cool about it is Tom will even tweet. He tweeted a message. I want to say it was a couple weeks ago, like without Boo Baller, me, we wouldn't be where we are today. And it's like, man, that's really cool to see the owner saying things like that.
Yeah, that's an awesome level of flattery and a great recognition for the work you've done.
Yeah.
What's been like the most challenging thing, regardless either project, I guess, that you had to kind of go through?
So
are you going to say December?
I'm going to say December, but it was Power, right? Everybody went through some ups and downs, and even right now things are rough. But I don't think a lot of people know what went through at that Power. The devs are these guys from and Power, completely different. I talk to the dev daily, but I don't know him. I don't have his phone number. He doesn't. There's a different level of trust and respect, I guess, there. And in December, right, the devs got sick, kind of disappeared for 2 weeks, and it was very scary, right? Where you saw the rugs, you saw Ring, we saw things going through, and the hardest thing we went through was the mod team stuck together, fought as hard as we could. We were sharing the information from the dev. He's like, we're sick. I can't even get out of bed. They had COVID, and then the other devs were on holiday, and here in America, we do things a little differently than other countries, and they're from, I want to say they're from Northern Africa. So how they do a holiday versus how we do holidays is completely different. They took all of Christmas off, right? They took Christmas all the way to our New Year off. They were off for 2.5 weeks. So when they take off, they're not booting up their computer like we do when we're bored. They're on holiday with their families and doing things. So they disappeared for a little while, and it was really tough. And I think, I've put myself in a situation because I could have left, right? I was just a mod. I could have just been like, look, I can't deal with this. I don't want to be around a group who aren't going to be here or transparent or, willing to help. And they were, right? Let me back up. They were. It's just they were, the main dev was sick. But instead of quitting, we stayed in it. We fought for the community because if we would, I'm not trying to pump myself up here, but I strongly believe if I would have just left and went, completely abandoned it, I think Power wouldn't be here today. And that's not just me. That's the entire mod team there. I remember waking up at like 11:30 at night, finding out that something wasn't working and things weren't, and people were freaking out. And we started an AMA at 11:30 at night, and I'm like, what am I doing? But I did it for the community, like to try to calm people down and let them know that we're not the project's not taking your money as far as we know as mods. We're here. We're gonna fight. I'm gonna push these guys as far as I can to make sure it's done right. And that's kind of probably the worst time, but also ended up, helping prevail a little bit. I mean, obviously Power is not in the best of positions, but they're still around.
Let's just blame Phantom for that.
Well, that's 33 cents on Phantom is not helping. Yes, that is true.
God, they've had their own struggles.
Yeah, no, but that was definitely a very stressful time. And then
Vapor.
Sorry, and then there was a recent one too. Just to, I don't know if you guys as mods yourselves have had anybody threaten you, but I did have somebody threatening me on Twitter because he was. Yeah, he's being. Telling me that he'd find me. He knows where he was in LA. He was ready to rock and roll. He said that I had a big mouth to say, "Listen, dude, I'm not afraid. Number one, and number two, it's not worth over what you being timed out because you were being rude. Like I have a responsibility."
Wow.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like the typical like I lost everything and you guys screwed me kind of thing. It was you timed him out.
No,
he wants to find
it. Was even worse than that. It was we were in a ticket and he was having migration issues over at Vapor, and he had Vapor's gone through a couple migrations. The first one he didn't want to migrate. He had a bunch of nodes and he didn't want to migrate, which causes an issue when you migrate if you have too many nodes. We told him you can merge, and he goes, I don't want to pay the gas price. And it's understandable. You have to merge, and each one's a transaction. I think he has like 60. So it's quite a few transactions. So we we migrated him manually. So this time came around, and we told him, you can merge. We told you last time you can merge. You didn't want to pay for it. And that's all I said is we told you last time, and he just snapped. He goes, you have a big mouth. Your ego has gotten too big. I don't know who you effing think you are. I'm going to tell the world about you. And I'm like, dude, stop. What are you talking about right now? And he just kept going on. And he said, like, I'm going to find you. I go to conventions. I'm going to beat your ass. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
So then I was like, look, you just threatened me. So I kicked him out. And then, then he started posting on Twitter, and it just got even uglier. He later came back. He apologized. He said he felt offended that I insinuated that he couldn't afford it. And I said, I never said you can afford it. I told you could merge. Like there's an option in there for you to do it. And if you took it as I was taking a shot at you, I'm sorry. I was not. So and I think we're good now. I hope. He even said we're good. So, but that was a stressful couple days where you're like, dude, someone really wants to. He messaged me on Twitter and Discord, and then I think he found me on Telegram. And he was like, I'm in LA. Where you at? I hope you keep that same energy because I'm going to find you.
Oh my gosh.
Like, holy crap, man. You got.
Did you go, I'm energized all the time?
Man. A father of two, and you start talking about stuff like that. Like I'm good when it comes to I'm ready. I'll throw down, but like you start thinking about someone trying to come to your house, and you're like, that's not even a joke. Because first of all, I got guns in the house, so I'm not afraid. But it's still like, I got kids. This is not something that's even worth going down for. What? Like somebody's gonna bleed over a comment? Come on.
It's probably just psychological warfare is really what it is.
Yeah,
it's probably not any kind of physical, but
yep, no, absolutely. That's why like trying, learning to have that's 100% what it is. I took some classes, project management classes. It's not called psychological warfare, but it's physical jiu-jitsu. It's not physical jiu-jitsu. It's word jiu-jitsu.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
Learning how to communicate and
Verbal judo.
There you go. That's it.
That's the one.
But yeah,
I work in retail.
Yeah, so learning how to communicate to people, and then bring the situation down a little bit, and it worked. Apologizing even though you didn't do anything wrong, or maybe I did. Maybe I just said it. Talking in Discord, you can't you can't get somebody's tone. You know what I mean? So
right, you never know over text. So
yep.
Have you ever heard of the 4 agreements?
The 4 grievance?
Yeah.
I want to say it sounds
4 agreements.
Agreements. Wait, what did I say? Did I mumble?
I don't think you heard
the 4
you right,
agreements.
4 agreements. No, what is it?
It's like 1 is be impeccable with your word. Like speaking with integrity, say only what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and then always do your best. So all these things that you kind of been talking about are just like that. So that's why I wondered, because it aligns with exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, I've never heard that. It's maybe just just how I am.
Well, it's something that Bat has been saying a lot lately. So it was just interesting to hear the key points from it from a completely different perspective and nailing all those. So maybe that's why,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Someone said Vapor gave me free notes for being rugged by Brig.
Yeah, that's actually when they first started. Vapor, Jose, and Tom were rugged by something else, and then when they were getting ready to launch, he's like, I really want to do something for those guys at Brig. And we're like, this was all the dev. We're like, well, what can you do? He goes, you know what? Let's set up a channel. And anybody, we took a screenshot of all the holders over there, a snapshot of all the holders. We'll just announce that we're going to give notes to them. And we're like, you can do that? Like, and it was a massive amount of work for him because it was all manual. He would take the snapshot and then he'd have to manually give them a node to that wallet. And man, it was 3 months of him manually. Every time somebody would come in, hey, I'm a Brig, he'd take it and verify and then drop them a node. It was pretty cool.
I always thought Dev Do Something was a meme, but apparently not.
Jose's a good dude. We actually had to shut it off at one point because at the same time, there was a rewards miss. If you guys remember back in December and November, all the rewards were like 5-6%, and nodes started realizing like, hey, that's too much. Well, Vapor went from 6% to 1%, and everybody lost their rewards. He was paying people back. Like, hey, I had 10,000 Vapor, and you changed it from 6% to 1%. I lost 9,000 Vapor. He would give them back their rewards.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. Where did it go? Like just into the never or what?
No, that's how contracts work, right? So if you have a live contract and you adjust it, let's say it's been going for a month and you adjust it now and you haven't claimed, it'll retroactively adjust that reward rate and because you haven't claimed it, right? It's just a number sitting on there. So once you change it on the contract, it changes on your screen because it's calculating from the contract.
Okay, because I was there for Power and Thor, like the change on their contract, so that's why they were telling you to claim first.
Yeah, yes, that is. Like, hey, please claim first because you're gonna lose some. Yeah, Power did the same thing, except Power, right? The devs, they didn't have the ability to just airdrop people. At least that's what he's been telling me. 6 months in, they don't have that same ability that Vapor has, where you can just airdrop from the contract. I'm pretty sure, not a node. I can give you tokens, but I can't give you a node. That makes sense.
Interesting. Totally makes sense.
I think we lost you again. You're on mute.
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't know.
He got quiet, but I looked at Skype and he's over there talking.
Well, there you go. It's supposed to be voice activated. I don't know. Sometimes I guess it doesn't voice activate. When you were talking about AMAs, I know you were at one of the alpha ones early. I don't know, remember if it was our first. We did like 3 or 4 AMAs like every single day when we launched. It was pretty crazy. Some just impromptu voice chats or whatever. But I remember you were on one of them, and now you've seen like where we've come since the day. I think that must have been like day 2 or 3.
Yeah.
What do you really see that you keep sticking around and checking in and?
It's good to see, these nodes or these projects. I'm not going to call you guys that because Alpha Shares is a little different now. And I like seeing the progression. I'm a guy who likes to sit back, watch, and learn because, you get to see some people do it right. You get to see some people do it wrong. And either way, you're going to learn from that, right? That's the right way. That's the wrong way. I'm going to use, for example, right now. And something all of us can learn, looking at Strong and what they're doing and how they just kind of sent out their message today, how upset everybody is. And once you make a community, once you kind of burn your community, you burn your project. Yeah. Yep. And I've seen it time and time again. And today I saw it with Strong, and it was just like, man, you hate to see that, right? And I wish I could share some DMs from the Power community where, we're trying to figure out things, how to make it grow and not trying to, I'm sorry if I changed it a little bit here, but you fight for what's right? The devs want to do one thing, and I'm pretty sure every project has this where they're like, look, this is getting a little unsustainable. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to do this. Multiple times in Power, multiple times in Vapor, I said, I don't think fees are the way to go. All we're doing is giving the project more money. What are we doing with those funds? Why are we constantly feeding into a project that they're just not doing good? If the project's building something, if the project's making movements, and I'm going to say like Alpha Shares and Vapor and hopefully Power here soon, when you see them growing and building and they're lasting, that's what I like to see. Alpha, when I was on that first AMA, they knew the devs and the team there kind of knew. I remember them saying like, hey, this is the first step. Just wait till you see the next Medium article, right? They knew what was going to happen. And so this team there, they seem like they know what they're doing. And that's what I like to see. I like to sit back and learn from other projects or, invest in good projects that are going to stay around.
Yeah, it's really interesting in this space to see so many projects, like, well, we could talk specifically about nodes that like there is no product there, right? I don't actually even know how this started, where people were like just giving money away for no product. I mean, I know there was some ROIs and stuff, and maybe no one had the foresight to understand what was going to happen, with the API-wise and stuff that was being given out. But like, when I first come in, I didn't get it. I'm like, there's no products here. How do you do this without something to actually, make money down the road? It's all just giving someone your money.
Yeah, no, it's a crazy world. I mean, NFTs I still struggle with. I'm kind of dabbling my toes in there, and I've been, shout out Lazy Lions. I've been seeing them since day one, and I could never afford it. But I was able to get one this week. So it's kind of cool. Like, hey, I see the community. I see what they're building. I wish I could have a Bored Ape, but I'm not that rich by no means. But you see the communities and what they're doing and what they're building. That's what's cool. Same with like Alpha, what they're building, what they're getting ready to make with their NFTs. I'm excited and interested. Vapor, what they're building with their decks and the subnet, I'm super excited. Like this is I can't wait, right? Constantly building and making a product. Like to your point, what's crazy is what these nodes created was like a, hey, give us your money, we'll build something for you type of thing.
It's capital investment.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we all bought into it, right? I did. I was invested in way too many. You can go back to some of my early tweets. I think I was like invested in like 20 different node projects. But it's, I'm having fun. Meeting a lot of people, learning lots of things. Where now people come to me like, hey, what do you think about this with our project? And it's like, let me take a look. Let me find some time to read what you got going on. It's pretty cool, and I enjoy it.
How many projects are you an advisor for?
Advisor for.
I see you in a lot of Discords up on those panels.
And you know what's funny? So I'm glad you asked that. That's actually cool. I want to clear that up. A lot of them just put me there. So I joined a Discord and I'm put there. And I don't know if it's I'm being used for my name. I mean, as long as they're not saying, hey, Renegade's here building something, they can do whatever they want. I'm not gonna get all crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah. But if they're like saying, "Hey, Renegade's helping us build this," I'm gonna go like, "Hey, hold on, time out. Oh. I don't know what you're talking about." And I have no problem, saying that. But there's a lot of people who reach out to me, asking me to help them with, looking at tokenomics, looking at certain things. What do they think about with the community? Like, how do you think the community would take this? I'll use, for example, Powernodes. I don't know if you know who they are. The CRN is their token on the Powernodes network. I was over there as a helper in the early stages, and the dev was a complete, what's the word I'm looking for? Ass. He wouldn't listen. He wouldn't make any changes. He thought that he created something and it was God's gift to heaven, and it was a fork of Power and Thor. It was, and I was trying to warn him. I said, "You're going down a road. I'm a mod in Thor only for the U of T, and I'm to keep how Power and Thor just for visibility and communication, and I'm a community manager in Power. I'm trying to help you with some information. Like, you're going to get in trouble. The emissions are too high. You need to do this. You need to do that." And he's like, "No, we don't." And I was a helper there trying to, be a mod or try to recruit them into the U of T in the beginning when I was first starting. And he wouldn't listen. And he was good with kind of just like setting the community up with, "Hey, these are going to last forever." And I told him, "I'm out. If you're not willing to change and adjust things, because the writing's on the wall, you're going to fail." I left, and me and Prime, I don't know if you guys know him, he now owns the project. Prime was nervous. He was talking to me on the side like, "This guy's not listening." And I said, "Listen, you can't quit. Let me quit. Let me take that fall, because this is your project. Let me scare him or make the demand." And I'm glad it happened, because I took the fall and that guy ended up leaving, and now Prime runs the project and he was able to make the changes that were needed. But yeah, I'm only in 2. Vapor and Power are the only 2 I'm like officially advisors or working for.
That's good to clear that up, and it's crazy to hear that. I've heard of Powernodes, but I haven't actually looked at it all or got into it. Again, nothing's really happened in 3 months for me in the crypto space. I just watched my Thor that I bought at $250 kind of hit where it's at now, and my $47 Power hit where it's at now. So, I'm just living the life and waiting for those new innovations to take off.
We know a lot about Alpha, though.
Yeah,
I know an insane about Alpha, yeah.
Because that's what we've been doing for 3 months.
That's good. Well, I mean, and it's something I learned too. There's times where I wish I was just focused on one, and it's probably better that way. And I'll even say that, especially as mods. If I could have gone back, I would just pick one. I'm not going to tell you which one. But as like moderators and whatnot, I would say, I think it's important to stay with one. You get these guys who kind of bounce around to multiple. I know I know I'm in a lot, and for me, it's more just for visibility. Like I said, I like to sit back and watch, learn, see what these guys are doing. Or I'm invested, right? I'm invested in people move me around and like, "Oh, Renegade's here," and then move me up to some advisor role. And I'm like, I don't even know what you guys are doing. Thanks. Okay. No, but and there was
solid tactic.
Yeah. So, I would say as like moderators, I think it's better you are focused on one. You're not bouncing around and trying to be in multiple. So if I could go back, I would have done just one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how people can. I mean, you mentioned like, father of two, and I got my kids. Like I just well, there's a tough question for you. You ever feel guilty you don't get to spend enough time with them, or have you found that good balance to make sure they get what they need before you're grinding away in this space?
That's a good question, and I don't think the answer is ever going to be what it truly is, if you know what I mean. Like I like to think that I try to find that balance. I'm I'm in pain right now. I bruised my ribs playing basketball with my son and his friends outside. So I'd like to think I spend a lot of time with him. My daughter just got done with softball. Could I spend more? Absolutely. Should I? Absolutely. So that's where, is it enough time? Is it not enough time? That's a tough question, because when you do want to go spend some time, you find them sitting there playing video games and they don't want to get up. So they're at that age, right, where it's all right. You want to do something? Let's do something. If not, then leave me alone.
That's a really good take on it for sure. Someone had a question for Renegade. How excited are you for Vapor Chain? Yeah. Because I am.
I'm actually really excited. It's cool to see what we're building. I shared it today, and in the Discord, the team at Vapor is different than most I've seen, at least who started at this time, right, in November, December. Now teams are being formed before they actually launch, and a lot of the projects that started before didn't really have that. Vapor grew, hired me, right? I wasn't part of the original team. And they hired another, let's see, Snorky, Locky, Dunk, J-Rock, Baba Yedu, Cryptographics. So that's 7 people, plus the investment team. They're growing, and they're willing to grow and make the project better. So that's what's the coolest to me, is they've grown, and these are all people from the community, by the way, who are all invested. So it's really cool to see how far we've come. And the Vapor Chain and the Vapor Decks originally started with the subnet, right? The Vapor Chain was like, hey, let's make our own. But then the team was like, how do we get things there? And they were willing to listen, and we all worked together. And it was like, we need a way to get stuff there. So the subnet is done. Like Jose talked about it a couple AMAs ago. It's done. But there's no way to get projects onto it from AVAX to it, right? You'd have to launch on it, type of thing. And then you wouldn't be able to get funds there. You have to build the decks and the bridge and the swap, everything there to where then people can get there. And it's pretty cool. That's what I'm most excited for, the decks. The subnet's going to be fun, right? Launching projects, partnering with projects. That's where we're going to grow even more. And I feel like I'm going to grow even more as a person in a space where you're starting now onboarding projects, learning how the subnet works, and all that. That's what I'm excited about.
That's really cool. I get that feeling from you, because when I started this, like, I didn't really get the vibe going on at Thor too much. I saw some opportunity, so I invested way too high because I was new. But I learned about power from Thor, and I hopped over there, and I really like the community there. I don't know if you remember this story. I earned 1 power off my. I had the first 3 levels. I did not have a superhuman. I had all the other levels, and I had earned 1 whole power. And you guys were doing the community wallet thing, so I wanted to give my 1 power out to the community wallet, because I'm like, I like what's happening here. This is a great place. I do remember. So I gave that 1 power out, and then the entire community came together and donated me a superhuman for doing that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, this is really cool. I love what's going on here. And then I think I found this other project that was paying out power off reflections. So you would just earn power from holding their tokens. So I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And I ended up being a mod there for a little bit, and I met our community manager there. And we kind of were becoming friends. And then that project, like, what reflection tokens wasn't really going anywhere, and no communication. So I left, and I was like, okay, well, I got to go make my way somewhere else and figure something out. And then I saw a Twitter giveaway for Alphanodes OGs, Alphanodes OGs. So I popped in the Discord, and the community manager, like our current community manager, who was the mod on the other project with me, he saw me, and I was like trying to get that OG, and I didn't get it. And he's like, hey, it's literally like me and the devs right now. And like this, we have a guy doing Telegram, but I need some help. And so like, that's when I got into doing modding.
What was that other project?
I didn't even know.
Well, I remember you two over there. What was that other project?
I don't know. I want to say it's the rug.
And was it?
Someone could type it in chat if they know what it is.
And I want to say, didn't he have to choose between the two, and he left that one for Alpha?
I don't know. I don't actually know when he left or why he left. I know that he left. I never actually asked them why. Yeah, I don't think.
Well, no, I don't think it's.
He's happy to tell you.
Oh,
Flux.
I was not in Flux. Okay, maybe not. I could have sworn. Maybe I'm mixing somebody else. I could have sworn he had to leave. He left the other one because he wanted to dedicate time to Alpha. But maybe I'm wrong.
But yeah, he was in Alpha, and spotted me, and the owner was in our Telegram. Interesting. Yeah, but anyways, so I just started, like, I had modded that project for like 3 days before I was like, there's something going on with this thing. And so now, full circle, and it's only been 3 months, to your point, like learning and growing, like onboarding new projects, learning all about NFTs and, the different minting processes and the utility concepts, and some of the stuff people are doing out there is just, it's insane. So
yeah, that's what we're going to see.
You just
more
keep growing.
More growing, that's where the DAOs and things, and then we grew to the node spaces, and I'm excited for what's next, right? I think you're going to have, these projects like Alpha Shares where they're figuring out the next step and the next smart contract that we can utilize to help people make money.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how it all plays out. The marketplace is just one piece of the pie with all the other stuff that's coming, all the other revenue streams. But that's just a hit. Like, having those planned revenue streams on a project, and not just one thing, it's huge, right? Like, that's how you continue to get that passive income that everybody wants in the space. So
yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens with Vapor Chain as well. It's really neat, the subnet idea. I just starting to learn about subnets now. I've never really understood them before, but I'm kind of getting the pieces now. So it's another new innovation, and I'm happy about those gas fees.
Yeah, subnets are how, I've done a lot of deep diving into it too. I'm obviously not a dev, but it's how they scale, right? And I'm going to use, for example, I don't know if you know who Krabata is, right? You get
anyone on AVAX knows who Krabata is.
But have you guys noticed in the last week how the gas has looked? Yep. And you know why, right? So they talk about being able to scale. Now AVAX is less congested. More projects can get on, and we keep scaling this way. Now you have a subnet that all that congestion is just built into that. The Krabata, the swimmer network, as they're calling it. So it's really cool. And it was great to see Krabata. It's a huge example for all of us to look at and go, man, gas is at 25 to 30. Since I've been in DeFi, I have not seen AVAX sit at 25 to 30, except for in the middle of the night.
Consistent.
Yes, it's lovely.
Consistent for days.
I've been compounding at like 3 a.m. when I have to do anything on AVAX, because it's just, when it's costing you $2 a day. Yeah, it's like, come on.
There was times it was more than that. It was it's crazy, but that's awesome. That's what's cool about the subnets, and then what else can we do with that, right? That's what how much further can this go? How much further can you build? So I'm interested. I'm excited.
I'm kind of hoping any games that launch on AVAX just start out with a subnet right from the get-go. That would be the smartest way to go.
Yeah, well, see, it's expensive, right? So that's it's funny to have your own subnet. You have to have 3 to 4 validator nodes. Each validator node is 2,000 AVAX.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and validators are what confirm your transactions, right? Those are what talk to each other. So you need at least 3 to 4. I'm pretty sure the Swimmer network has like 9. They've got to have a lot, right? So to be able to handle their congestion, but they say a minimum 3 to 4 validator nodes for your subnet. So it's hard to, let's say us 3 wanted to start our own project. Sorry guys, I don't have 2,000 AVAX. I don't have it. Sorry.
Trying to save like 40 to get a Ronin. Yeah. Oh, what is the cost? What is that right now? AVAX is cheap.
That's what I was thinking.
Can we do it right now?
No. Well, 2,000
is it $30?
Yeah,
it's only 60K. Not bad. Not
for
bad.
One. No, but actually that's funny you say that too, because like that's the difference. The things I'm learning with Phantom and AVAX. AVAX is built out this way where they can do it. Phantom doesn't do subnets. I haven't dove into how they scale, but they don't do subnets. So they do have validators, but they were 500,000 Phantom. And remember, when Phantom was at $3, that was $1.5 million to make a validator. Yeah. It was crazy. It's still 500,000. Even at this price, that's still more than what a validator on AVAX costs. And you start questioning and asking yourself, like, why are they so high on their cost to create a validator node? Like, don't you want more validator nodes so that the system is faster and working better and you need more projects? At least that's what I'm asking myself, because 500,000 at $1 is still, well, let's see, it's at 33 cents. What's that? 500,000 times 33 cents? That's still more than what AVAX is at.
Yeah.
Yeah, 165 for one versus 60.
They got to do something better about that. I don't know what. Once the network's already out and they've already committed to it, I don't know if they can change it or how
they can. They can. They're kind of like DAOs, right? Everything's voted on by owners. So like the owners of the existing validator nodes vote on it. They actually had one. I'm part of the Phantom Foundation Telegram because of Power. I was told to handle it by the devs. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm part of the Phantom Foundation communication, and they put out a vote. So all the validator owners voted to lower it from 500,000 to, what was it? What did they try to lower it to? I can't remember if it was like 250, 100,000, and they all said no. They wanted to keep it at 500,000 because they're diluting themselves at that point. Jeez. Yeah, it's sad. But hopefully it changes. We got down some deep roads there.
It's almost like you were going onto a subnet. Down that rabbit hole. Oh, someone said something about that yesterday. It's like Inception. Subnets are Inception.
Yeah, understanding it all, how it all works. I still, oh gosh.
Could you launch a subnet on a subnet?
I don't think so, because you got to be tied. I'm not sure. I don't think so. You'd be a subnet on Avalanche still.
Yeah. How's the merch shop doing for Vapor?
I don't really have any ties to that at all, other than just trying to, show people that it's there. That's all ran by Tom, and it's ran through the guys that he hired to do it. I don't get to. I don't get any insight on that. Do you guys have a merch store?
I don't know if ours is still active. We did with Alpha Nodes. We had the merch store, but with Alpha Shares, I don't think we've done anything yet. Kind of waiting for the marketplace to launch really before we do anything else. All the devs' philosophy at this moment is if I can't make the community more money doing this, I will add it to the list, but it will not be at the top.
Yeah.
So
it's
I mean, and I know it's a simple thing, but we want to make sure
it's not super simple, but it is kind of. Are you guys? I know, like with Power and Vapor, we found a way to be able to purchase it with tokens, but it's still kind of complicated. You have to have somebody run it and manage the tokens, swap it out, and then purchase it through the third party on the backside.
Yeah, I think our first one was just, one of those websites where you could just slap up your graphics and they will do all the third party for you. But I think going forward, they want to, like if you look at the project, everything is carefully branded.
Yeah.
So the new one is being worked on and it's going to be carefully branded and executed well.
Cool.
So,
if you guys need a connection on how to utilize your tokens for it, I have somebody I can connect you with.
Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind.
That sounds pretty awesome.
I would guess that our wizard already knows how to do that. I mean, the stuff I've learned about John in the last couple weeks has just been amazing. I can't believe that he's our dev.
Yeah, Mert said it's actually, from what I've heard, a bit complicated, but won't be taking alpha token at first. So yeah, that's cool.
There we go.
Yeah, it is a bit complicated. You have to have somebody manually take care of it.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I think we're hitting just over an hour and 20 minutes now. I think I'm pretty good to wrap up here. I really want to thank you for coming out.
Absolutely.
Farmer, do you have anything you wanted to say before we hop off?
No, because it would probably take another 20 minutes.
Another 2 hours?
Oh, no, absolutely not. It was great having you up here and talking story with you, getting to know you, outside of the Discord channel and seeing you come and go. So
yeah, I appreciate you guys. It's good to get to know you a little bit more, Farmer. And when I head to Hawaii, I'll be giving you a call.
Better.
And I'm gonna say this to everybody, even those listening. My DMs are open. You guys want to just chat? I love getting to know people. Chad, you can chime in here. We've talked for a very long time just in DMs. He'll ask me random questions, or he'll ask me what I'm doing right now. I'm like, well, I'm sitting in the shower. Why? You want a picture? Like, what are you doing?
Why is your phone in the shower?
Whoa. You guys don't take a shower with your phone? This is me?
I do, so.
Okay, I guess I am the odd man out here for not showering.
You're not a super mod. That shows it.
My toxic trait is I like to sit in the shower sometimes for long periods of time and just
relax,
question all aspects of my life. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, just to relax.
That's funny.
The shower's my go-to zen if I feel sick, or it used to be if I was too intoxicated or something. No matter what the intoxicant was, I suppose I would just go lay in the shower and it would get better. So
I actually don't enjoy showering. I do it, obviously.
I'm glad.
I'm one of those. I'm in, I wash, and I'm out. Like, I don't enjoy showers. I don't know what it is. I think I grew up in the rainiest city in North America, and so I just don't like water much at all.
So that you said that this is interesting, and I'll try not to get it too long. But so I'm the baby of two older sisters. Oh, did he rug again?
Oh, I don't know if he did.
Oh no, I thought you did. Your mouth was moving. Sorry. But the baby of two older sisters, and my bedroom was right by the bathroom. So when they'd get up to shower every morning, I would hear it, and it would just put me back to sleep. So I think that's probably a big reason. Am I right? No, okay.
Interesting.
Reason why I like the shower or the sound, or why it's therapeutic for me.
Well, and being a farmer is not easy work. I will say, when I was in construction, you're working, you're digging all day, you're using your muscles all day. I lived in the shower after I get home. Not only was I filthy dirty, but then you just get to you put your moment here. You put your head up against the wall and you just kind of lay relax, and you just let the hot water hit your back. I'm with you, dude.
I can feel it right now.
It's kind of good stuff, though.
It is, yeah. Totally.
It's called a shame shower, Merck said.
That's what Merck said, yeah.
That's funny.
Well, all right, but it's a pleasure talking to you guys. It was a great time.
Absolutely. Alpha After Dark, I appreciate you guys, and I wouldn't mind coming back on, getting to know anybody else and having some good talks.
This show, I think, is going to quickly evolve into something bigger than I intended it to be. We've already been in talks about extending it to maybe twice a week, and we have more than one guest who wants to come on at a time. So I may definitely take you up on that.
No worries. Just let me know.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much, and have a great night, Alphas.
Yep.
You too.
See you later.